My name is Eleanor and I am 70 years old. I've lived a long and full life, but not without its challenges and quiet moments of loneliness. After my husband passed away 5 years ago, my world changed in ways I hadn't anticipated. Suddenly, the home we had built together felt much emptier, and the days seemed longer and sometimes harder to fill. I'm lucky in many ways. My children visit when they can, and I have good friends nearby. But there is a certain stillness that settles over the house in the evenings that no one else can quite fill. I often found myself looking out the window, watching the neighborhood as the seasons changed, reflecting on years past and wondering what the next chapters might hold. One chilly autumn afternoon, I was sitting by the window with a cup of tea, wrapped in a soft shawl. The wind was brisk outside, and the leaves had begun to paint the sidewalks with shades of amber and gold. I was lost in thought, thinking about the garden my husband had loved so much, when I heard a faint knock on the front door. It was unexpected. Visitors were rare these days, and I was hesitant for a moment, wondering if I should even answer. But something in the gentle nature of the knock made me rise and open the door. There, standing on the porch, was a man I had never seen before. He looked to be in his early 40s, dressed casually but neatly, with a kind smile that instantly put me at ease. "Good afternoon, ma'am," he said politely. "I'm sorry to bother you, but I just moved in next door. I thought I'd introduce myself." I smiled and invited him in, offering tea as the rain that had been threatening all afternoon began to fall in earnest. As we sat down in the cozy living room, I learned his name was David, and that he had recently relocated to the area to care for his aging mother. David was not just a neighbor. He was a listener, someone who seemed genuinely interested in the stories I shared. I told him about my husband, about the garden we had planted together, and about the books I loved to read. He shared stories too, about his family, his hopes, and his dreams. Over the weeks that followed, David and I found ourselves sharing many quiet afternoons together. He helped me with small repairs around the house, and I introduced him to my favorite recipes, carefully written in a worn notebook that had been passed down through generations. There was no romance in what blossomed between us, just a friendship rooted in mutual respect and kindness. For the first time in years, I felt truly seen and appreciated, not as an elderly woman living alone, but as a person with a rich history and a heart still open to new experiences. One day, David brought a small seedling from his mother's garden, asking if I would help him plant it. As we worked side by side in the crisp air, I felt the heaviness of loneliness begin to lift. Life, I realized, is not just about the big moments but the small, shared ones, the ones that remind us we are not alone. David's friendship rekindled a spark of joy in my life. It inspired me to reconnect with old friends, to visit the local library once more, and even to start painting again, something I hadn't done since my youth. Through this unexpected kindness, I learned that age is not a barrier to new beginnings, and that sometimes the greatest gift we can receive is simply to be seen, heard, and valued. This chapter of my life is still unfolding, and I face each day with renewed hope and gratitude. The quiet knock on my door that autumn afternoon changed my life in ways I never imagined, teaching me that even in the later years, kindness can open doors we thought were closed forever.